All right, so we're back with some more Project Multi, known as Gekishin Squadra now, and we're going to be talking about some of the new heroes that are planned for likely the upcoming network test. I guess they never really said they're going to be the network test, but in like the little gameplay they shown us in the producer's letter, these characters were actually playable. So I'm assuming they will be in the upcoming network test. The bare minimum, we can at least still talk about these new kits and things. So we actually have had new characters tweeted out, 2 in total since the last video I made, and we're probably going to try and do 2 per video, I guess. We have Super Oob confirmed, and then we have Dabura confirmed. Now, these aren't definitely the most exciting characters for a lot of people, but from what I saw, these characters are a bit interesting. I'm not sure what Super Oob is. I believe they're both attack characters, actually. Thinking back into the footage we saw in the producer's letter. So we did get a technical character and a tank character with the Frieza first form and the baby youth already kind of revealed. So now we're able to see Super Oob. Super Oob is actually Majub, but like the direct actual translation, I guess you could say, of it compared to Majub, right? And then Dabura is Dabura. So I think both these characters could have some interesting things in their kit. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick look there and see exactly what Super Oob is doing first. Let's just hop right in. So again, I haven't actually looked at them because I want to go in with like a raw reaction to it, so you guys are able to kind of get the same feeling of that, right? So Oob is more of a long range fighter, but we can see. Okay, so that like is one of his like kind of ultimate moves from GT specifically. Um, so I wonder if that's like a I wonder if that like gets rid of some sort of debuffs. He has a little bar under him too, by the way. If you guys notice, there's like a little yellow bar there. Right here. So I wonder what that is going to do exactly. It seems like it has to do with his ki blast, but we'll see. So yeah, again, Oob is a damage character. Make use of the Cyclone to power up your Russian super attacks. Keep doing continuous damage and break through the front line is his general concept, right? So this is the Cyclone stream. This doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the actual yellow bar, but so gain Cyclone when you activate skills or your super attack, certain skills specifically, and then you deplete Cyclone when performing a rush attack and gain an additional attack. Cyclone will gradually deplete over time. So this is Cyclone right here. Okay, so this is that Cyclone move, and when you use your skills or your super, you will gain Cyclone, and then it seems like it's going to, you know, build up more and more and more over time. And then Rage Barrage is the first skill that we see right here. So this is actually his passive. Rage Barrage, fire multiple energy blasts that fan out in a targeted direction. Gain Cyclone on activation. And then you also gain Cyclone when enemies are hit. You could also move while you actually use this skill here. So, I mean, being able to move while using this skill is always just going to be nice, right? I guess this doesn't seem like to stagger anyone, just doing the pure damage, which is fine. Generate a shockwave around yourself for his skill 2, the Brutal Buster. For a set time, the rush attack speed will increase. Okay, and the rage of the rush attack and skill 3 will increase as well. You'll gain the no attack obstruction effect. Okay, so this is the shockwave. Okay, so that's what that was. So it is dispelling that debuff. So essentially, I assume, you know, attacks that could stagger you or things like that. I wonder if it counts for the speed down here, because we saw, you know, Baby was actually hitting him with the ultimate. Let me actually take a closer look here. Is this, because this is like movement speed down here, does this get rid of that? Yeah, I think he was moving a little faster there, if I'm not mistaken. I wonder if you guys could see that as well. I'll show it one more time here. Let's go back a little. Like I think he's it's hard, it's really hard to tell, but no attack obstruction could also potentially mean like any attacks where the enemy speeds you down, potentially take care of that. Again, I'm not really like, that's kind of my speculation there, but at the very least, any attacks that stagger you is what I assume will be gained, because he has this little barrier around him. And if it does include movement speed down as well, like I think it is, that is actually going to be a very nice tool for escaping and things like that, which is kind of what they showed off here. And that can also help you potentially keep your range, right? Because again, it seems like this guy is going to be a character that is more of a ranged fighter, especially with the Cyclone here helping as well. And again, this is making his rush attack speed increase as well, which, you know, you could potentially do some really, really huge damage with this. So the general idea is that, you know, you build up the Cyclone stream with like the Rage Barrage and some of his other attacks, probably his rush attack as well. And this will just like really let him kind of push all that out. Then the Shooting Chaser is his skill 3. Okay, that's pretty quick right there. Let's read the actual description. Like, look how quick this is right here. That's pretty good. After dashing in a certain direction, fire Energy Blast. Gain Cyclone when you hit enemies as well. Okay, so again, this is another move that does build up Cyclone. And then the super attack is the Cyclone Burst. You expand all stored Cyclone to unleash a huge energy attack in a certain direction. Damage increases based on the Cyclone amount at activation. Gain Cyclone when you hit the enemies. Okay. And you turn them into candy. Oh! If they're below a certain amount of HP, they will be turned into candy, which, you know, we saw Majin Buu had that ability as well. Majin Buu actually does turn the enemies into candy as ultimate. This could be useful just depending on the situation. I'm not sure how long the candy status will last. It'll probably show us right here. Yeah, it's not too long, but you regain Cyclone after expending all the Cyclone as well. And you could potentially do a huge burst of damage there. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I like Uba as an offensive character because the fact is a lot of these like offensive characters, the biggest thing with damage deal characters is that tanks and, you know, even technical characters like the Krillin and Majin Buu did pretty good damage already. So as long as they nerf the damage those characters are doing, that's going to be helpful. There's also the other way of just buffing the damage the offensive characters are doing. I'm not sure if that's really the way that they should go personally, but Oob seems like he's going to be doing a lot of burst, quick kill damage, which you could just like potentially just snipe an enemy off the team, which is really good. Especially this right here. I feel like this is going to be so good for making space and just like sniping one of the enemies on the team. This especially like Oob in 1v1 situations gonna be great. I think I'm liking what this guy is doing. He has a lot of very interesting useful tools. I think it's gonna be good. I do like what Super Oob is looking like here. So we also do have Dabura. Again, Dabura is not like the most exciting character, but let's go ahead and see what his trailer is doing here. So here's Peggy 12, of course. You know, actually I don't know what specifically Peggy 12 is for, but whatever. So here's Dabura. So he has a little range barrier around him. That's just like, is that movement speed down right there? I expected him to have this move. That just makes a lot of sense. Okay. The petrification as well, huh? So he's gonna have a lot of disrupt, it looks like. That's a lot of disrupt. Okay. Stay close to your enemies with this hero, applying petrification to gain additional firepower. You fill up the petrification gauge and then unleash a devastating damage. So you fill up that gauge, I assume, by freezing some of these enemies. But let's take a look here. So Demon's Domain, which is the domain we're seeing right here. Fill the petrification gauge of the enemy heroes within a proximity. So when their gauge is full, you could use a rush attack to freeze them, stopping their movement and increasing your damage. Is it like a permanent freeze? So we could see the gauge of each ally and it increases just over time. Actually, is it increasing more with the damage you do to them? It seems like that's the case because you see the rate was like a lower. Yeah, it was pretty. It seems like when you hit him with the sword, especially finish that combo right there, it does feel a lot quicker. And then now you get the status and he's petrified. Is the petrification gonna be permanent as long as they're within the barrier? If that is the case, I feel like there's no way that the petrification would be permanent. Maybe allies could like knock you out of it, but Yeah, I feel like it has to be. Because imagine you just petrify the enemy and then they're just stuck there. And you're just like, yep, get stuck, buddy. That would be crazy. I just don't know if that's a thing. It does take a bit to petrify the enemy though. So like, I feel like if you do get petrified, that's maybe a little bit on you, because a lot of heroes do have, like Super Saiyan Goku has like his jump launch attack that could allow him to escape. I wonder if Majube's kind of like no attack obstruction potentially works against this as well. But this is pretty good. I do like this, right? It benefits you from like being aggressive, which I think is something that is going to be what you should be doing with an with the damage based character. I keep wanting to say attack based character. I don't know why, but a damage based character, right? So Doom's Ray, you blow up the target enemy. So this is what I was thinking. If this attack hits an enemy hero, fills their gauge to 50%. Wow. So you're just like, yeah, you're actually not getting away. This has pretty decent range. Again, they have to be within their certain range still, but okay. For the gauge to fill up, I think. Anyways, the lower the gauges, the more it's applied. Oh, okay. So if you have 0 gauge, so this might be something you want to just lead in with potentially. It generates an aftershock ahead of you, activates quicker if used after vanishing step. Yeah, okay, so you want to use this to lead into the enemy. Okay. So, oh wow, that did a lot of damage. Yeah. Whoa. That's a lot of damage you could do. Wow. So if they're petrified, that's crazy. Oh my god. Be careful. Do not get close to this guy. Okay. I like that. I like that. Again, there's obviously a lot of characters who could stay at a long range, but you'll have to like switch up to counter this character for sure. I think this guy, I mean, he has a lot of CC with that, right? And this right here, no vanishing step to the enemy heroes that they hit. Movement speed up when approaching an enemy hero hit by the skill. Oh my goodness, that's pretty quick. And then you see, if as long as he has the spear inside him, his movement speed is down too. Okay. So you kind of see what he's going for there. I mean, again, this is another character where it's like, it's going to be like a very, like, kind of just Russian character, which, I very much like the idea of how this, Dabura is designed, right, in terms of being a damage character. Spit Flames applies movement speed down as well. He has a lot of movement speed down. Okay. And then, does it do damage over time? Enemy heroes will be infected with burning. Yeah, this is DOT. Damage over time. And then their petrification gauge will be filled. Can move and adjust aim while using this skill. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What's next here? The Evil Blast is a super attack. It just fills the petrification gauge of enemy heroes on hit. And it's just a powerful nature blast. Okay. I mean, so yeah, definitely this guy is designed for that petrification because he seems good. Yeah, I mean, the damage is increased after the petrification is spilled, but this is crazy right here. I mean, obviously, this is like a max level 15 character, but whew, you could like, I mean, nearly one-shotting a character, and it is something that you have to invest into, of course, though. Like, that's why you need to apply that movement speed down to really rush into the enemy. I think it's very possible that this guy is going to be very reliant on that movement speed down. A character this character could be really good with is maybe Super Saiyan Vegeta. I think could be interesting, where you could eventually apply that petrification by keeping the enemy locked into a certain area. Then after the petrification is applied, you just like wipe him out. But I mean, by the time the because this is like just their entire health bar. So by the time that you get them petrified, they probably have taken enough damage to where you just one shot them regardless. Like this is just a one shot, right? Okay. But we'll see how easy it is potentially to avoid this. Again, there a lot of heroes may have tools to get around this, but I think he seems very fun. I do like what Dabura's playstyle is. Oob seems like if I was gonna say between the two, I kind of think I like Oob a little better because no, I mean we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of that CC Dabura has, but Oob feels kind of more straightforward. At least I think Oob will probably be easier to use. Dabura could be better if you really like know what you're doing with this guy. I like him though. But let me know what you guys are thinking. Thanks y'all for watching. Dabura and Super Oob. Really interesting designs here. I do like them. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.